Chatham, Kent is a small town just under the estimated population of 100,000 people. Chatham is on the southwestern side of Ontario, making an easy access point for slaves to escape back when slavery existed. Now, Chatham is an area where Black history and Black Canadian history was preserved. We were invited to go down south to Chatham for the next 3 days and learn about Black history there. With museums and other locations all to ourselves, we have a chance to discover new things and digest rich Afro-Canadian history with our minds. In 1994, through efforts to preserve and celebrate Chatham Kent's rich Black history, a group of determined individuals set out to form Chatham Kent's Black Historical Society. The collection of artifacts and archives is housed on displays inside the Black Mecca Museum within the Wish Center, a clinic service center.
So his father actually purchased the family's freedom from their slave master. So he made a deal with the slave owner that he would purchase the family's freedom for $3,000. So it took him some time to save up the money.
It's crazy to see how successful we became and how much we built Chatham up. I mean, when it started, it was mostly rural land, and I know it still is today, but lots of Black people were lawyers, doctors, and were abolitionists, which means that they wanted to make a change in the world. And understanding that Canada has that positive side, there was still hope and there was still success. There was still so much of Black excellence, both that we don't even celebrate, that we don't even acknowledge, that we didn't even know until now. It's incredible. Now we're heading to what once was the site of the first BME church in Canada. The park has transformed into a green space for the education and enjoyment of visitors. The park's focal point is a bronze bust of Mary Ann Shadd Carey. It's a walking tour, and we decided to go on it walking through Chatham in order to learn more about its rich history.
But when he was here, he stopped the cholera epidemic, and then he was a recruiter for the Civil War, and all that.
So John Brown wanted to see him, wanted his approval
because of how
he was
power he kind of held in the community, throughout Canada, right?
Okay.
John Brown was a white man who was against slavery as well, but his approach on ending it was more physical and more explosive, literally. And Black activists didn't want it to happen that way. They thought that it could be resolved through talking and peaceful protesting, and that's what we decided to do.
Frederick Douglass, huge abolitionist in the United States. If you look him up, there are millions of stories about him, and for years nobody even knew he came to Chatham.
I didn't either.
And so he wrote in a diary, and he talks about leaving his downtown hotel, walking down the dirt road, all that kind of stuff, and then walking down into this neighborhood. So yeah, a lot of people didn't know he came here. One Methodist collection, and then because of their views on how to help end slavery, one, action, guns, violence, that kind of thing, and the other ones were writing, rhetoric, that kind of thing. They kind of separate it into two separate churches. So that would be the AME Church and then the BME Church land that we're going to go to next. So the AME Church still has a congregation as well, and then they run soup kitchens for the community in there. Most of their congregation is still the Black community, but they do also welcome anybody.
Yeah.
We had an archaeologist come one day for a tour, and she was the one who actually did the dig for the church before they put the park here. So the church was torn down in, I think it was 87, it might have been 89. I can never selected to put Mary Ann Shadd there. So the bronze bust of Mary Ann Shadd was done by Ernest Lane.
So am I.
Was the one who did the painting and stuff in the museum.
Mary Ann Shadd is an abolitionist, and she was also a journalist and the first Canadian lawyer. She was a very, very successful woman, and she helped make a change in Chatham and helped build it up. When the Civil War was happening in the United States, and when they were low on troops and men who wanted to go to fight, she was the one who actually recruited them to go back and recruited them to help the country that enslaved them, that beat them, that tortured them. It's an incredible type of perseverance and resilience that they had.